What up, people? Archangel here, bring you a new Titanfall video on whatever this map is. I don't know the name of it. Playing as an IMC. This gameplay is actually when I first prestiged or regenerated in Titanfall. But Titanfall is just a bad job. I want to talk about saying the game is bad just because you lack the skill to play it. Now, I came up with this because last night when I was playing Battlefield, one of my personal friends I went to high school with was in a party, and he was like, there's nerdy games on Xbox One and is good. He was saying they're all bad. And now I was telling him, like, no, you're not giving these games a time, because he's a very impatient person. He wants a game to do everything for him. He wants a game to be very easy and very complex. He doesn't want anything that takes a time to get used to it, that has a learning curve. So I was saying, like, you don't give Battlefield a time of day. You do bad at Battlefield, so you think it's bad. And he was saying, whatever. But it's true. A lot of people will say a game is bad because they can't play it. He was raging at playing Tomb Raider. Now, on 360, he said he liked Tomb Raider. So it's not. So now it's bad on Xbox One because it's a little bit more difficult. Because they did say that the new version is a little more difficult than the previous version. So he's saying it's bad because he was dying a lot. He wasn't saying it's bad because the game itself is actually bad, but he thinks that these games are bad because he can't play them. You know, I was telling him, you gotta be more patient. You gotta learn how to play the game. I've been playing Battlefield since the very first game. This is your second time playing a Battlefield game. In Battlefield 3, he didn't even put a lot of time into that. So you can't get better at a game by playing it for 10 minutes and then getting pissed off and cutting it off. That's not how you improve. And it's just not just him. There's a lot of people who do this. There's a guy, a friend of his, who said Street Fighter is bad because he's not good at it. And that's literally that was his own words. He said, I suck at Street Fighter. That game is so bad. People have this idea. I don't know why people have this idea, but it's there. People think that games are bad just because they're not good at it. And a lot of people say Halo is bad because they can't play it. A lot of people say Call of Duty is bad because they can't play it. There's games, even though these games may be easy to some of us, they're difficult to other people, and they don't like it being difficult. They don't want to learn how to play it. You know, some of us those of us who are good at games, we're good at those games because we're playing different types of those versions of that genre, and we're playing that franchise for a certain period of time. Now, if you just got into Call of Duty, yeah, it'd be a little difficult for you. But if you're playing it since Modern Warfare, it's the same thing over and over again. If you're playing Gears of War since the very first Gears of War game, the next Gears of War game it'd be very simple to you because you've been playing the game for so long. Same thing with Battlefield. If you've been playing Battlefield for a certain period of time, the game comes easy to you. That's just how it is. So people who are new to these games, they're impatient. They don't want to learn how to play the game. They're not given the time for the game to grow on them. They're sitting there, and since they can't get the number of kills they want, since they keep getting drops, they don't know the map layouts. It's the game's fault. When it's not, it's your own fault because you're not given the time to learn the match. You're not given time to learn the controls, to learn the weapons. Like my friend, he literally sat there and said that he doesn't want to unlock stuff. That's said the guns get better as you use them, because you unlock things and you can build your gun to better fit your playstyle. And he was like, I don't really care about that. Then why play? It's your own fault for spending money on something if you don't want to take your time to learn it. You know, it's not the game's fault. It's not the developer's fault. It's not the publisher's fault. It's not the console's fault. It's your own fault because you spent the money on the game that you assumed would have been cakewalk when it's not. You gotta learn how to play. Take time to learn how to play. He didn't want to do that. So I want to understand, like, do any of you have that same thought, that same logic, that just because you're not good at a game that it's a bad game? Because I know for a fact I was terrible at Dark Souls. Terrible. I couldn't play Dark Souls to save my life. But I kept playing it. And I said it's one of the best RPGs I've ever played. I still think it's top 15 for best RPG franchises. The Dark Souls, Demon Souls series. For those who don't know, Demon Souls is the first game, then it's Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. I don't know why they just didn't call it Demon Souls 2. Maybe it's a different story, but it's in the same universe. But anyways, I was terrible at Demon Souls and Dark Souls. I played both of them, but I kept playing them. I wanted to play them. I never beat them because I was just too bad at it. But I don't think those games are bad. I think they're pretty good. I'm trying to think about another game that I wasn't very good at. The NHL games, I'm better at them now, but when I first started playing it, I was awful at it. But I didn't think they were bad sport games. I thought they were just pretty difficult and need to learn how to play. And I ended up learning how to play it, and I got better at it, and it became a really fun game. People aren't patient. They don't want to learn how to play a game. They don't want. That's why they like games that are very easy. They like games that are very simplex. They like games where they can just put it in the dish tray, pick up the controller, and then everything is done for them. A lot of people say it's Titanfall is a very easy game, and one reason why it's so easy is because it has this formula. It has a formula of just putting this in your Xbox or you put it on your PC, pick up the controller and start playing. Titanfall has that effect, but on the flip side, it does have a skill to it, and that skill to it is the player. If you're better at a shooter than someone else, you're going to do better at that game. Take a look at this gameplay. These guys, I'm doing better in this game than these people because I have better awareness. You know, I was getting the drop on them before they even saw me. I was being smart about my movement. Because if you're better at a game, you're better. It doesn't make the gameplay less appealing because it's a simplex game. It doesn't. Like, people need to stop thinking that every game is easy. Sure, anyone can play Titanfall. Anyone can succeed in Titanfall. But when you go against a good team or good players, regardless of what game it is, you're going to lose. You're going to have a bad time. Like I said in the previous video, we played Battlefield 3. We had a platoon match. It was my platoon versus the other platoon. We stumped them in Rush, but in Conquest we lost because they were better at that than we were. That's pretty much it for the video, guys. Just want to talk about that. Let me know what you think of this. Like, do you feel the same way? Or do you think it's also something silly? You know, I don't know. I just think people need to give these games more time. If you haven't played Titanfall, but you think that you don't want to play it because it's easy, give it a chance. Go ahead and rent the game and try it out. You know, I might have my opinions of Titanfall, but I don't hate the game completely. So give it a chance. Give all these games a chance. Don't just sit and play one game. Give every game out there a chance before you have pain of it. Until then, guys, this is Archangel. Have a good one.